Well, hello everybody. Welcome to placement training. Now we'll go straight into it. Okay, so we'll be having a questions and answer session at the end of this. So this hopefully should be about 35 to 40 minutes long, and at the end we'll be covering the ranks. And so, what is an elite? What is a silver? What is a gold? All the way to what does it make up to be a presidential diamond? Now, placements, we've called this training the great unknown because simply placements is a very, very tricky thing to figure out in doTERRA. It's probably the hardest and most difficult thing to grasp or to try and understand. And the main reason is because we're dealing with human nature. And so people can tell you that they're going to do the business or they're going to be a sharer, and then they can do the exact opposite. So they could then become, a sharer could become a great builder, or a builder could just become a customer. And obviously those things really, really affect what you get paid and how much work you have to do. And so what we're trying to do with placements is to limit the amount of work everybody has to do by giving it to the people underneath them. And obviously they do the same thing with themselves. And also by placing people in strategic positions to get you to advance to a new rank, which is then going to help you to earn as much money as possible. And so that's why placements is so vitally important. Now, before we start going into exactly where to place people, it's very important that you understand the two kinds of placements that there are. And we discussed this a bit in the compensation plan, but it's also very important for placements as well. So we'll just quickly cover it again. Firstly, the two placements are enroller and sponsor. Now, the enroller, once again, is the person that introduces the person to the oils, okay, or to doTERRA. And the enroller gets to place them wherever they want in their organization. So generally it will be the enroller that is the person that is doing the placing. And then it's the sponsor who will generally be the person that is managing them. So if you've got somebody that you want to place under a builder, then the builder would become the sponsor and you would be the enroller. So that's how it works. And the enrollers get different, get paid different. So the enrollers get the fast start. The sponsors do not get the fast starts. The enroller can move the person in the first 14 days. It's not up to the sponsor to move the person because they're not the enroller. And then the enroller can also move somebody in 90 days if that person turns into a premier, which we'll talk about at the end of this presentation. The enroller also gets to count the person as a qualifying leg. Now, this is vitally important to remember, okay? So if you have 3 people on your front line and you want all those people to count, we'll discuss that in placements as well, then you'll need to be the enroller of those people. Now, you might have been given somebody on your front line that you would need to be the enroller of eventually. Well, your upline will give you the enrollership of that once you're about to hit silver, is what we teach. Okay. The enroller also can receive extra shares, which is an extra way of making money. Now the sponsor gets the uni level. The sponsor, it also counts as the sponsor's power of 3, and it's where the person actually lies in their organization. So the enroller is typically the closest upline or business builder, and it's generally the personal contact of the upline sponsor. And you can give enrollership away once, okay, in the life of an IPC. So an IPC is us or anybody that's joined doTERRA, and you can give enrollership of somebody away once, possibly twice, within the whole lifetime of that person, okay? So once you've given enrollership away to somebody, it's unlikely that you'll be able to take it back or they'll be able to give it away again, okay? So it's very important that you don't give up enrollership easily. And sponsorship changes can be made within the first 14 days. And obviously we've mentioned it again. And if the enrollee hits premier within 90 days, you can move them. Generally, if they're going to be hitting premier within 90 days, you want to put them on your front line because they're doing very, very well. Now, placing people is a 3-stage process. Okay. So first of all, we will look at which pathway. So you need to decide what kind of person they are. So are they a builder? Are they a sharer? Or are they a customer? Okay. Then you need to decide which level you're going to put them on. Is it going to be on your 1, on your 2, on your 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7? Okay. And then you're going to decide whereabouts in your team you're going to put them. So you could have 8 different, if somebody's a level 5, you could have 8 different places in your team that is on your level, on your 5th level, that you could possibly place them. And it's about deciding where's best for yourself and for your team, and we will discuss that. So it's a 3-stage process. So we'll cover number 1. Number 1 is which pathway, which is the most critical thing to understand and to learn from the people that you're assessing. So as soon as you find a sign up, or you think somebody's going to start doing the business, or you think somebody's going to start joining the oils, you're immediately assessing them, okay, as soon as you can. And the reason for that is because you only have 14 days once you've signed them up to actually move them into a position which is more favourable to you. So you need to start assessing quickly whether somebody's going to be a customer, whether they're going to be a sharer, or whether they're going to be a builder. And those are the 3 pathways that somebody can take. Okay, now, if they're a builder, it's important that you assess whether they want to supplement their income or replace their income. And that is generally down to how much time they have. Okay. So what we're now going to discuss is how to profile a customer or sharer or builder so you know what each person is. Okay. So a customer, this is what a customer looks like. A customer, or is sometimes called a consumer or user, they generally don't order a minimum per month. Some of them will be on LRP, but you can't guarantee that they're going to be doing it every month. They're usually not interested in hosting a class. They ask lots of questions about products, and they're interested in attending product trainings. Now, that's the profile of a customer. Obviously, it will differ for each individual slightly, and you might have your own questions and lists that you might add to this because you think there's other things you would add. But this is generally the profile of a customer. And this is, 85% of the people which we'll all come across. Okay, so everyone you'll come across, most people will be a customer. The next type of people are your sharers, and that's approximately 10% of the people that you'll come across, okay? Now, they're interested in sharing the oils, and they commit to a class, okay? They usually will have, or they say they're going to have an LRP order of 100 plus most months. They generally want samples for their friends and family, and generally what they do is they say they don't want to sell, okay? But they act like a builder in many ways. So a lot of times they'll say they don't want to sell, you'll place them as a sharer, and then they tend to start selling anyway. And that's because they feel like because they're not actually doing it as a business. So they're able to sell it better than they were if they were thinking they were selling it to their friends. It's more of a mindset for a lot of people. And they're also interested in attending product trainings, and they sometimes stay for the business parts. Now, you might want to add a few little other things in there, but this is generally the profile that we've seen of what looks like a sharer. And then a builder. It's very important that we put it in bold here, so in capital letters, is they have to commit, okay? So a builder commits. If you do not get commitment out of them, then they are not a builder, okay? Let me just reiterate that. If you do not get any kind of commitment out of them, they are not a builder, all right? So placing people on speculation that they're going to be a builder is not something that you want to do, okay? So first of all, a builder needs to commit to their 100 PV LRP per month, or they need to commit that they're going to be doing it in 2 or 3 months' time, quite quickly. They need to commit to be sharing the oils and looking for more builders. Now, lots of times a builder will commit to making new contacts every day. Now, we suggest 2 a day, but it doesn't have to be 2. It can be, 5 a week or 10 a week. But between you and your builders, it's important that they are finding new people all the time. And it's important that they commit to trying to find 3 business builders, okay, because that will be the crux of their business. Also, it's important that they're holding classes every month. Now, we suggest 2 classes a month because that's quite easy for people to do. But they could do 4 one month or 1 another month, or just as long as it's averaging out that they're doing enough classes to be building the business. Okay. And it's also important that they commit to participating in a training program, such as you're doing right now, or with your own upline, or looking at the website or things like that, to be participating in some kind of training program, which is going to only increase their learning quickly. Okay. Now, once you've assessed that somebody is a builder, there's obviously different types of builders, and this is generally down to, do they want to supplement or replace their income? And how you judge that is how much time they have. Now, if somebody wants to replace their income, is a frontline builder, and they're somebody that wants to do 20 hours plus a week, okay, possibly 15 hours, depending on their capabilities. If they want to do less than that, so over 5 hours, between 5 hours and 20 hours, then there's somebody that wants to do it part-time, and they want to supplement their income, okay? Now, obviously, somebody that wants to supplement their income can quite quickly turn into somebody that wants to replace their income. Or once they've got enough, they can then turn it into replace their income. It's all about how quickly they're going to grow their business, basically. So somebody that wants to replace their income might get to £2,000 within a year and a half, whereas somebody that wants to increase supplement their income, it might take them 2 and a bit years to get there, or to get to 1,000, etc. So that's what a builder looks like. Okay. Now, it's very important that we understand what a builder is. So these are the 3 key things. What is a builder? A builder commits to a certain amount of hours per week. A builder has a capability, okay? And depending on their capability, depends on where you're going to be placing them. And also, a builder commits, very importantly, to 100 PV LRP monthly. So if we look at the table below, which we suggest, is a level 1 builder would be somebody that is looking to do 15 hours plus per week. They have a capability that's very high, of a level 1, possibly a level 2, and they obviously commit to their 100 plus PV. A level 2 builder is doing 10 hours plus per week, and they have a capability of 1 to 3, and obviously they're going to be doing their 100 plus PV. And then you've got your sharer, which they might commit to an hour or 5 hours a week, and they might have a very good capability, or it might be down to very poor. So it just depends on what you want to do. Now, which level you put them on depends obviously on how committed they are as a builder and how capable they are, okay? And what we mean by capable is somebody can tell you that they're very, very committed and they want to go for it, but they can't use a computer. Now, that doesn't mean that these people can't do the business, and they still might be very, very good, but it's going to be harder for them, okay? And so you would just assess it accordingly, okay? And some people might suffer from depression or from other things which might hinder them from their capability being very, very quick. So it just depending on what you want to assess and how you want to assess them depends on where you would place them in your organization. Okay. So a committed and capable person is a frontline builder, and that's somebody that wants to replace their income. Now, either a committed or capable person, level 2, might be somebody that you would put on your level 2, and that's generally somebody that wants to share their income. Sorry, not share their income. Somebody that wants to supplement their income. Now, somebody that goes on your level 3 is generally a sharer, all right? And anybody that's a customer goes on your level 4 to 7. Now, generally, I would put your good customers on your level 4, okay? And generally, your good customers are people that are on LRP, etc. Now, so this slide is a very good slide for helping you assess where to place them. So once you've figured out which pathway your builder is on, or your customer is on, then you can then come to this slide and go, oh, okay, a sharer is a level 3 or level 4, depending on how good the share is. A builder is a level 1 or level 2, depending on how good the builder is. And then your customers, you can clearly see, go on your level 4 to 7, depending on the type of customer you have. And then you would then go to your graphical tree, which is on your own back office. So it's under the team button, and you click on graphical tree, and your graphical tree will come up. Okay. Now, once you get to, I think it's over elite and above, you'll start to see the little men like you see with our organization here. Before that, you'll see boxes with the names in it, etc. It's exactly the same thing. You see it in a more detailed version, obviously, because there's less people involved in the tree. Whereas this one shows you exactly, more detail from the bigger picture, okay, because there's more people to have a look at. So you can see here that we've got our level 1, which is the silver there. Let me annotate it. So we've got our level 1 here. And then we have our level, come up. And we have our level 2 here. Then we have our level 3 here. Then we have our level 4 here. I'm so good at circles. Then you have your level 5 here. And then we've got level 6 here on this leg. Obviously, level 7's there. Obviously, we've got some people on our level 8. So you can see here, okay, so we've decided that we have a sharer. And so we know that sharer go on our level 3 or 4. We would like to place this person on our level 3. And so we can then come into here and go, okay, so where can we then place it? And we figure out all the places that we could then possibly place them. Now, once you get to our level here, you're probably already knowing where you need the volume or where you want it to be placed, so that you have got a much better idea almost immediately where you'd like to place this person. Okay. So this is how you work it out on your graphical tree. So the things that you need to consider when you're trying to look at your graphical tree and work out where to place them is which leader will work with them best. So when you've got a leader that you want to put this person under, you might have 2 or 3 that you're thinking of, and it's important to have a look and think of the person and think, who are they going to work with best? That's the number 1 thing you look at. Then you need to look at, where do I need a builder, or where do I need the volume? So you have a look at where you need some volume to be placed, or where you need the builder. And we'll talk about the volume bit when we talk about the ranks, because it's important that you know about the ranks, that you know, okay, I need 500 PV of volume to go under Lucy to make her an executive. Okay. And that will make you in turn a premier. Now you also need to look at who in my team needs a builder or the volume. So it's important that you're looking at your team to help motivate your team to be growing. So yes, you might not need the volume this month, but your team might. Someone in your team might need 300, which is going to take them to elite, or they might need 300, which is going to take them to silver. And it would be great, and if you've got the spare volume to place it, that you place it under where the people need it, so you can help motivate your team. So that's the next thing to look at. And then the last thing to look at is what's best for the new enrollee. So what is best for the person that you've considered? So it's important to have a look to answer all 4 of those questions, and then you should figure out the very best place out of the 4 or 5 places which you figured they could go, which is the best for them. Now, having said that, this is the most scientific the most scientific approach that we can possibly think of to work out placements. Having said all that and done all that, it can still not work. Somebody can still change their mind. So placements is never, ever going to be perfect, okay? And everybody's organization is never going to look pretty. It's never going to be exactly the way you want to build. You're never going to get to your power 3 in exactly the way you wanted to get it to. It's impossible, okay? But you keep going, you keep working with it, and you'll find ways to work it. And every team works it in different ways, and so every team structure is completely different, okay? Now, it's important to remember the 3-stage process when you're assessing your sign-ups and trying to place them. Remember, which pathway, so what are they? Are they a customer? Are they a builder? Or are they a sharer? Which level should I put them on, okay? And then where in my team do I need to place them which benefits them, benefits me, and benefits my team the most? Now, once you've done that and you've decided that you're going to place them under Sally, it's important that you communicate with Sally that you're going to place them there. So call them first. And let's say Sally's a sharer and you want to place them under Sally. You can help motivate Sally by calling Sally and saying, look, Sally, I've got this great person. I think they have potential to be interested in the business in a future date. Are you willing, if I place them under you, to take care of them? We've never had it where anyone said, no, I don't want them. I can't imagine anyone not wanting them. And it can then help them to start turning them into a builder and start helping them to be motivated. And it's a lovely thing for you to be able to do for people. But it's important that you call them first. If you don't communicate with them, it's almost a guarantee that they will not call them because they won't want to step on your toes, okay? So you're going to have to support that placement, which means more work for you. So it's important that you assign those placements, those people over to whoever you're putting them under or the closest builder to them. And it's also a great way of motivating your builders and your sharers. Now, moves. So sometimes you will get people and they'll want to move, okay? I'm sorry, no, that's not this one. That's the next page. So when you sign somebody up, you can place them wherever you want in your organization. And so you've got 14 days to move them. And so what a lot of people do is they line them up on their front line, okay? Now, we would not suggest you do this. We've done it, and we have forgotten about people and left them on our front line. This completely wastes your volume, okay? Because generally, they're not going to be frontline builders. So you don't want to be placing them on your front line, okay? Because somebody's then spent £150, £200. Let's say they sign up to LRP. That volume isn't going to be going to help you get to gold or help you get to silver. It's just stuck there on your front line. And so you want to make sure you place them where you think they belong straight away, even if you're not too sure, okay? And then you can always move them within the 14 days if you think you've done it wrong. That's what we would suggest. And then if worst case scenario you do forget, then at least they're in a better position than on your front line, okay? Now, to move somebody, you need to look under the team tab in your back office. We discussed this in the basic back office training. And then you can click on sponsor changes, and then you add the new sponsor's IPC number and then click finalize changes. And if you need to do any enrollment changes, these need to be emailed to placement@doterra.com. Now, if you remember what we said about enrollment and giving enrollments to people, we do not suggest you give any enrollments to anybody until they're just about to hit silver, which is when they would need the enrollments, okay? And that's if the person is on their front line. So if somebody's on their front line and they need that person to make them hit silver, then you would give them the enrollment. And that's the only time we suggest you do it, okay? Now, sometimes you might get, and we haven't had it, but other teams have, that they say, I don't want to work with the person I first signed up under now. Can I move? Now, yes, they can move, but I don't know why they would want to. Because after 6 months of complete inactivity, a person can email doTERRA at placements@doterra.com and request to be moved. Now, their whole downline rolls up to the next level. So that means they cannot take their downline with them. Anybody underneath them, they can't take. They can't take their points. They can't take any money they've made. They can't take a thing. So, but what they can do is they can then, after 6 months, and they haven't had any activity on their account, they can then move to anywhere they would like within doTERRA or anybody else. So it can be done. Now, it's very important that we all as a team and as a group and as a whole doTERRA family, we don't commit to not cross-recruit. And what I mean by cross-recruiting is recruiting from other teams within doTERRA. Other multi-level marketing companies or anything like that, that's not a problem whatsoever. It's not the same business, okay? But anybody from doTERRA that is signed up, they need to stay in the position which who they first signed up under. Because none of us would want anybody to take somebody from us. So it's important that we build an ethos and help the doTERRA ethos of not taking people from other people. Now, there are circumstances where friends really, really want to work with somebody else and they didn't realize it. And in certain situations, yes, it's important you can do it, but it's important that you talk to the people's upline first and explain the situation so everything's above board and everyone's, not upset about people moving to different places, okay? Now, there are other options, and one of the main options is that you can gift. You can give your account or you can sell an account to somebody else. So one of the things which we suggest is when you first start the business or you first start doTERRA, is that you're probably going to be getting customers on board straight away and not builders. Ideally, you would want a builder as the very first person that you signed up, because then you could put everybody under them. I don't know if that's ever happened. I'm sure it has. But what you would do in that situation is you would sign somebody up that you trust. So you might sign your mum up, or you might sign a brother up that you completely trust, and you would use their account and put it all under their accounts. Okay. So if anybody signs up after that, you would then start building them as a position. And then when it came time, when you did find a builder, you could give your mum's account or you could sell your mum's account to that person. And doTERRA call this a transfer. And if you need any transfer forms, we can take you through it, or you can contact doTERRA for the transfer forms, and it's very, very easily done. Now, placements are quite busy, so it can take up to 2 weeks to get it done. So make sure you give them plenty of time. Okay, and if you have any exceptions to placement policy, where, so this is after the 14 days of moving somebody, if you've got any problems, you really need to move somebody and you think you've got a legitimate reason why, exceptions are made on very rare occasions, and you can email it to the committee. It's the same email, placements@doterra.com. Okay. So that's how to place people in your team. Okay. Now, when you're trying to build to ranks, it's very important that you build it properly. So what we suggest you do is you always build to be a presidential diamond, okay, which is the highest rank in doTERRA. Now, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily trying to get to presidential diamond, but it means that the option is always there for you. For if you say get to platinum and you decide, actually, I know what I'm doing here, I may as well go as far as I can with it. You're not going to be wasting any volume. You're still going to be able to get to platinum by building it to presidential diamond. And it also helps you to get your power of 3, which is a lovely bonus to gain as well. So this is what we suggest. So this is how to build your team. So you've got you at the top as the yellow. You've got your platinum people as your top level, your main builders. You've got your silvers as your second level builders. And then you've got your elites, which are your sharers. And then we haven't put it here, but everybody else, which are your customers, then go under your elites. Now, the key to the business is getting your platinum people to be looking after your silver people, okay? Because then instead of you having to look after your platinum and your silvers, which is a lot of work, all you have to do is look after your 3 platinum people. And then you teach your platinum people to look after their silver people, or in their eyes, they'll be platinum people. So they would look after their silver people, and you get them to look after their 3 elite people. So the work, everyone's doing the same amount of work, and it's duplicable for everybody, and nobody's being too burdened. Now that's in an ideal world, obviously, and so you might have to do a little bit of work from somebody else, or you might get a little bit of help from some of your upline when you can't work as hard, etc. So, but it's all about working as a team and working the schedules to all help each other, and for nobody to be too overburdened. Okay, and so it's also another way of assessing a sign up as well. So your frontline people are people that you think are going to be able to get to, or want to get to, platinum and above. Your second level people are people that you think are going to get to silver and above. Your third level people are people that you're going to get to elite and above. And anybody you put under there, it doesn't matter so much for you, because they're customers. Okay. Now, if you do this, how we suggest, and this is what Rebecca and I have built, and we're still working on a couple of our elites, but we'll soon have that structure in place. And then we basically need to double that, and we will have be Presidential Diamond. So basically this doubled would be Presidential Diamond. Okay. Now, the first rank of significance is executive. Okay. So what you're working towards is working through the ranks, and that helps you to grow and to realize that you are achieving in doTERRA, rather than just going straight from 0 to platinum. So the first thing which you'll want to try and achieve is to get to executive. And that basically means you've got an overall volume of 2,000 under you, and you become executive. The next rank is elite, and that is an overall volume of 3,000. And you don't have to have enrollership of anybody on your front line to do that. Now, when you get to Premier, you need 2 people under you that have got an overall volume of 2,000 each. Okay, and then a complete overall volume of 5,000. So then that's including with the volume that you do yourself. So let's say you've got Sally that's executive and Jenny that's executive, and they're both doing 2,000 each. You would need to find 1,000 from somewhere else, and that could be on another leg or 3 other legs. So it could be you spent £1,000, or Jenny could have done 2.5, and then Sally could have done 2,200, and then you just need to find 300 from somewhere. So that's how that works. But you must be the enroller of both Jenny and Sally, who are executives. Otherwise, that executive person will not count for you to make you Premier. You would remain elite. So you need to have enrollership of that. Now, when you get to Premier, you don't get any leadership bonuses, so the financial reward isn't really there. So that's why we suggest people don't give you enrollership. Don't give enrollership away on a Premier. You would give it away on a silver. Okay. And the next rank is silver. So you have 3 people under you that are elites, and that means that they're doing 3,000 each. So obviously the overall volume there is 9,000, and you must be the enroller of all 3 of those elites. Okay, and that would make you silver. And obviously the silver gets the first leadership rank, and you get 1 share. So you then start to get, roughly £100 bonus for being silver. Then you hit gold, and gold is 3 premiers. So you need to have 3 premiers under you, and you obviously, hopefully by that point, you've got your enrollership of all 3 of your people on your front line. So you're then working to help them to get to premier, and they need to have enrollership of their 2 people that are executive, and they need to hit an overall volume of 5,000 each. And that means an overall volume for you of 15,000. Now that's the minimum, obviously. So it's never going to work out exactly that one premier does 5,000, the other does 5,000, the other does 5,000. You'll probably have it like we've had it, where one premier does 10,000, one premier does 8,000, and another premier just hits it. Okay, that's generally what will happen. And once you hit this, you'll get the second leadership rank, which is 5 shares, which is £500. And then you have platinum, okay, which is where Rebecca and I are right now. And this is 3 silvers under you. Okay, so those 3 silvers have 3 elites under them. And that means an overall volume of 27,000. Now, we have more volume than that. So at Christmas, we hit platinum, but we did 48,000 volume because one of our silvers did 18,000, one did 15,000, and the other did just 10. So, and that's how we hit silver. Okay, and remember, you must have the enrollership of all 3 silvers, and then you get 10 shares, which is equivalent to about £1,000. And then you do diamonds. Okay, and once you hit diamond, you've obviously got your 3 silvers, which makes you a platinum, and then you just need to add another silver, so a 4th builder, and get them to have 3 elites under them, and that would make you diamonds. And then you start to earn a very, very, very good income. And then you have blue diamond. So you've got to get the 4 people that were silver, you've got to help get them to gold. And then you need to add a 5th leg and help them to be gold as well. And then you have presidential diamond. And you have 4 platinums. Oh, I should have changed this slide. I apologize. I thought I had. So it's actually 6 platinums, not 4 platinums and 2 golds. It's 6 platinums. So you need to have 6 platinums. 18 silvers, and you need to have 54 elites. And that will get you to presidential diamond, which is the highest rank you can get to in doTERRA. And that's all the ranks and everything within doTERRA. So I'd like to thank you for listening to the placements training. I know it's quite a lot to take in. We'll now start the questions and answer session.